would have seen the US as a nation that holds its leaders to account had President Bush, in fact, been impeached. He was deeply unpopular across the globe for most of the reasons that you have already cited. Why, in your mind, were Speaker Pelosi and the House unable to, in fact, impeach the president?
Well, there's an underlying national security doctrine, which the United States posited after 9/11. And that doctrine was one of unilateralism. We can move on our own without anyone else. Preemption. We can attack someone who we think is going to attack us. And first strike, that we can hit you first. I saw that doctrine as being self-defeating, as containing within it the seeds of more war. So I rejected that. Others accepted that doctrine, saying, well, nobody is going to ever attack us. Well, we better find out who we're going after and if there's any truth to the allegations that they're going to attack us. But people went forward anyway, out of fear. That's why, out of fear. You can't be a great nation if you're fearful. Great nations have to have courage. And while our troops certainly have courage, the thinking that promoted the war, absent any real facts, was fearful. And so we need to regain our courage. And when we do that, we'll regain our greatness.
Congressman, moving on to Iraq, do you believe the Iraq war was illegal?
Yes.
Do you believe the Iraq war is going well currently?
No.
Why do you not believe
Well, we should have never been there in the first place. And going well, it would only go well if we left. The occupation has fueled the insurgency. Over 1 million innocent Iraqis have died. We've wrecked the country, created hundreds of billions of dollars worth of damage, shredded the social networks. The capital improvements that have been there, a lot of them have been riddled with fraud. Money that's just thrown out throughout the country, incredible corruption that's existed as a result. That's not progress. That's a disaster. So I said immediately after the invasion occurred, I laid a plan out, a 12-point plan to get out of Iraq. And unfortunately it was not accepted. And even worse, think about this. The Democrats, of which I'm a member of the party, in 2006, we went to the American people and told the American people, if you vote Democrat, we're going to end the war. And you know what happened? People voted Democrat, and the Democratic Party did not end the war. They kept the war going. So, given a choice between a Democratic version of a war and a Republican version of a war, you still have war. And that's what we have right now. We still have war. Because the thinking that took us to war is still there.
So what about change we can believe in?
People want to believe in change. People want to believe that things can be different and better. All of us want to believe that. But it's not satisfactory to give people the impression that you're going to end war and you continue war. That you are going to do something about unemployment, yet unemployment continues. That there's going to be a more equitable distribution of the wealth in the society, and the government gives trillions of dollars to Wall Street. See, one of the things that's happening in the United States that is creating instability within our own country is there is a massive redistribution of the wealth of the nation upwards. I will show you how. Trillions of dollars for armaments and military. All that money comes from the American people, goes into the hands of a few, goes into the defense contractors and all these subcontractors. Trillions of dollars in energy costs. People paying for their oil bill, their natural gas, electricity. That money goes into the hands of a few. Our tax laws take money from all the American people, and they basically, because of the way the laws are written, they help accelerate the money into the hands of a few. Our financial system on Wall Street took trillions of dollars from the American people and gave it to big banks and big companies. You see, look, examining America through this lens, America, the country which I love, you see that unfortunately, powerful corporate interests have created mechanisms to take the wealth of America and put it into the hands of a few. It is very difficult to maintain a democracy under those circumstances, which is still another reason why we need to take care of things here in the United States before we start telling people all over the world, here is how you should live.
Congressman Kucinich, in the unlikely event that you were appointed Special Envoy to Afghanistan and Pakistan by President Obama, what would you do differently than Ambassador Holbrooke?
Well, the President has already called for a review of the strategy
Right.
with respect to Pakistan. And I think that the strategy review would have to deal with the security of nuclear weapons, with ending the drone attacks, with being very careful about military intervention, which, unfortunately, the United States is being dragged into, to be very careful about making it seem that the United States is driving the options of Pakistan's military. We've got to be very careful about not intervening in the internal affairs of Pakistan. And at the same time, how can you help strengthen the central government? Well, make it possible for more people to be able to have a decent life. Help those 2/3 of the people of Pakistan who are living on less than $2 a day find a way to have food and some economic security. We can do that with the world community. Help Pakistan deal with its crushing debt problems without selling the people of Pakistan out to the big banks. See, you have to, there is not a military solution for every problem in the world. So we have to start looking at what other ways can we address this. And as far as the problems of terrorism, if Pakistan can stabilize its own affairs with respect to its economy, it can use its resources for whatever police action is needed to provide for security. But we must distinguish between police activities and intelligence and military attacks, which only create more instability, both internal to a nation and external to it. So if I had that opportunity to be of service, I would counsel a different approach. And with respect to Afghanistan, to leave Afghanistan, and to actually pay more attention to our relationship with Pakistan.
Many people, including Pakistanis, have been held now in Guantanamo Bay without being charged for going on 9 years now. I ask you, if American defense company contractors like those of Blackwater or DynCorp were to be caught in Pakistan trying to foment violence the way they have been caught in Baghdad, and we held them for 8 years without charging them, what would the US government have to say about that?
I feel the United States always does best when we apply our own constitutional principles to situations that might exist with respect to nationals of another, foreign nationals. So that means if you can't charge someone, they have to be let go. If you do charge someone, then there has to be a process for extradition. With respect to the Blackwater types that you speak of, for the longest time in Iraq, they were a law unto themselves. And as far as Guantanamo, I mean, haven't we heard enough about Guantanamo to know that it should be shut down and that we need to return to international law, not the law, not military law, and certainly not the law of the jungle?
So why hasn't Guantanamo been shut down then?
Good question.
Congressman, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We'll have to leave it there. Pleasure.
Thank you.
Viewers, as you have seen our interview with Congressman Dennis Kucinich, you will know that there are at least some voices in Washington that are sympathetic to the problems that the people of Pakistan have with US foreign policy. We will continue this discussion next week. Until then, Nazreen, Khuda Hafiz.